Tyler and Lindsey Oelschlager. I'm an electrician.
I'm a stay-at-home mom and photographer and chauffeur. I mean, really, I wear a lot of hats. We have 3 kids.
And I work 56 hours a week, 6 days a week.
A typical day for me would be, we homeschool, so kind of varies when we wake up. But we wake up, we get breakfast, school. I just feel like the stage of life we're in, to be totally honest, we're actually very terrible at making time for us. Once every 4 months, maybe we get a date night. We do everything together. Even I do a Bible study on Tuesdays. Maddie does that with me, and the other 2 kids come along.
As far as communication, I have a little bit of freedom at work, being in management. So I am able to communicate with her, and I talk to her when I can. I am at work a lot, and I feel like we do communicate pretty well.
I think communication comes naturally, though, for us. We've known each other since middle school, and we were friends for so long before we ever dated and got married that it was very normal to talk. So I don't, good for us, we're talking. I mean, that sounds really simple.
Whether, it's phone calls, text, I FaceTime her at work.
I'm very vocal and animated. So, and I've had this problem my whole life. Even my parents have been why are you yelling? I'm not yelling. It's just me. I overtalk. Probably. Sometimes. And then sometimes I shut down. So.
Yeah, there's no middle ground there.
No, there is no middle ground with me.
I think it's both ways for me, too. There's been times where I just don't say nothing. Try not to, add to the fire.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes that I say too much.
Yeah.
And, learning how to be quiet is not the easiest sometimes.
And we both grew up so different too.
Yeah.
I grew up in a Christian household, and he grew up in a non-Christian household. So how we both look at conflict or growing up, how we looked at conflict was very different. My dad was very quiet and reserved, and my mom's the Italian, so it comes out, and that's just very different, and it was the opposite for him.
Lindsey is one of the reasons why I started coming to church. We've been married long enough that I think our marriage has improved, and every year that goes by, everything's getting better and better.
I feel like the first part of our marriage
is very stressful.
Yeah, but just being engaged. So we got engaged right after I was diagnosed with cancer, and so it's I was going through treatment right up until our wedding date.
I proposed to her the day before she got surgery. First part of our relationship was very hard because, I was dealing with a lot of PTSD, and Lindsey was going through chemo. We had kids involved. And keep in mind, she knew me through the whole thing. And we had visited, when I would come back.
There was days we wouldn't talk. That we wanted nothing to do with each other. I felt because it's we suppressed so much because there was so much going on in the first part of our relationship. One specific thing the counselor had had him do, and I watched, is she told him to close his eyes. And she said, reach for your weapon. And his hand just came out. And she said, reach for I don't remember what else she said, reach for something. And his hand just went out. And she said, do you see how, it was just a reaction? For him, knowing things, one specific argument was the house was a mess. I'm well, kids live here, I don't know what to tell you. And it was a huge arguing point for us. And she said that right there, mess is death to him. That's what the army literally beat into him. She's and explaining to me that they stripped him down of everything he was and retrained his mind. And so seeing that, it was okay, that's why. So I feel our second and third year is where the conflict kind of started arising, and it was probably ugly those first couple years trying to sort that out. Over time, we learned how to work through that, and now we can say, this is too much, stop, and there's more respect there to stop, because we've just learned over time it wasn't efficient how we used to argue.
I think a big thing for us is, and I think I can speak for both of us, is finding the right church and the people that you involve yourself with. I've known Lindsey almost my entire life, and when I fell in love with her. She's the best person that ever came into my life that way. She changed my whole life.